All good?
We're good?
Okay. So call to order. I will be looking at my phone because to get the agenda because I brought the wrong computer. So my computer's dead, phone's fully charged, so that's what I will be looking at this evening. Roll call, everyone is here except for Mr. Herman, who is absent tonight. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Rolling right in. I need a motion to approve the board and committee minutes of the tax levy hearing minutes of December 13th, 2021, the regular board meeting minutes of December 13th, 2021, the transportation committee meeting minutes of January 5th, 2022. So moved.
Second.
Okay, Flores?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Mazur?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Pappas?
Yes.
And Palmer?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Great. No extra expenses?
Yes, there were.
There were? Oh, sorry.
One.
Past here. Okay, so please note extra additional bills. If there's no questions, I need a motion to approve the January 2022 expenses as presented, including the additional. So moved.
Second.
I also provided you guys with a fancy little chart. Gives you an idea of the four major expenditures where you're at after 6 months. So it goes all the way back to when you adopted the budget, not October, but September, October, November, December.
Great. We like graphics.
Colorful ones.
It's about as colorful as I get.
Okay, I'm sorry, who was the second?
One.
Mine?
Okay, roll call. Belt?
Yes.
Mazur?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Pappas?
Yes.
Palmer?
Yes.
And Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Treasurer's report?
All right, the first one
Thanks
of
for coming.
2022. Balance and first community at the end of the December was $303,285.65. We had outstanding checks of $38,993.80. Payroll expense that carried over $53,3046, leaving the adjusted bank balance at $258,961.39. Lunch program balance $1,070.69. Impress fund at $5,000. Leaving that balance at $265,032.08. The investments ended at $12,279,636.51, leaving the balance of all funds as of December 31st at $12,544,668.59. December receipts were $1,412,314.54. Expenses were $1,340,790 even. The fund balances: education fund, $4,783,506.71. Building fund, $2,337,191.06. Bond and interest, -$69,278.91. Transportation fund, $2,029,850.94. IMRF, $235,687.33. Working cash, $2,595,599.24. Tort fund balance, $108,739.53, and life safety, $523,372.69. We earned interest of $276.19 in December. Hopefully that rate goes up and up a few times this year. The state of Illinois had a handful of distributions. State aid, $211,938. ESSER 3, $207,192. SOWIC, room and board, $37,358. School lunch program, $68,377.36. Special milk, $73.55. State free lunch, $268.92. IDEA SOWIC, $33,833. IDEA Preschool, $17.96. A lot of even numbers in there. And we had 2 distributions in December for real estate taxes. Number 9 was $460,400.50, and number 10, $117,151.25.
Any questions from Mr. Peters? Okay, then I just need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Missouri,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
Pallmeyer,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
and Belt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Having received no public comment requests, anyone? Okay. Then we'll move on to staff reports. Dr. Kwasny?
You all have my report, but I did just want to share something really positive, and I know I mentioned it at the last meeting, but we had our Winter Wonderland activities, and I just have to talk about it for a couple minutes because it was just so above and beyond awesome. Miss Packus, I just really wanted to recognize her and her team of students and adults who helped her set everything up. There was a minute to win, well, we did minute to win it games in the gym, and then there were snacks, refreshments, there was a photo booth, different prizes and things, and then there was there was penguin golfing, or I'm sorry, penguin bowling in the hallway, and then in the gym was the big show. It was an 8-hole mini golf course, and if you have a chance, check out the website or the Facebook page if you haven't already. It was just so elaborate. It was just very cool, and the kids had a great time. So I just wanted to mention that, and just also thank Mrs. Packus and her team for doing such an awesome job.
Thank you. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Did anybody have any questions about the report?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I really did not mean that. I am so sorry, Mr. Meyer. That was a Freudian slip. That was a Freudian slip. I apologize.
God, we have a lot of doctors in the house today, don't we?
I am so sorry. Like,
No.
I did not mean that.
I'm trying to keep that under wraps.
You're a secret one.
All right, Dr. Meyer.
I would like to say, which we didn't have enough, or it happened after we put the board reports in, the cheerleading. I think we're one of 2 teams out of like there were 38 that did not have, I believe didn't have any points taken away, or if that's the right terminology. I don't know if I'm
They hit
up
zero.
on. Is it they?
It's called hit zero.
Hit zero.
That
So
they didn't have any duck
they did really well. They were pretty pleased with their performance. I like just a couple points. I know it's not school related, but an ex-coach and an ex-teacher, Coach Krazan is going to be inducted into the Lewis Athletic Academy of Coaches. So I thought that was pretty big time. What 508 wins, 40 years of service. So I thought that was kind of special. Hopefully,
It's a huge deal. Yeah, I was so happy to see that. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, I hope he has a good time. I haven't seen him in a while, so hopefully things go well.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And then lastly, there's just a couple things in the board report too. I thought our Pride did a nice job with just some of the Christmas things and the wrapping and doing some things for the community. So I hope the Christmas was better this year than it has been maybe in the past couple of years. But I thought our group did pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with what they're doing around there.
So this week is homecoming week?
Yes.
And so, my daughter and I were quarantined, so she didn't, whatever is hearsay or whatever. So the game is not the homecoming, like you're not having a dance?
No.
Just the
We'll have
game?
just the games. We'll have
Okay.
the girls' game, and then we'll have the boys' game. Then we'll crown the king and queen between the games.
Okay.
And eventually, we'll have another spirit week that, I don't know when.
Yeah.
I'd love to say March, or I'd love to say maybe before spring break.
Right.
The spirit. I still want them to participate in their dress-up days, get some points, and then do all that stuff at a later time. I'm just a little leery with how things are right now.
I commend you on that. I know, I'm happy that we're in, but I agree extras is kind of, yeah.
We'll see.
Okay,
Hopefully, yeah.
thank you for
You
that
bet.
clarification.
Anything else? Mr. Missouri, you good?
I just want to know where you get that fade at. I got mine done today, I was just wondering where you got yours at.
It's called just losing your hair. sorry about that.
All right, so this is where I had it. Dr. Gahan was next.
Of course, as always.
And I like your tie, the coachless, GM-less, compared to Bears.
I wore it because of
Vikings
two things. I had a wonderful staff member give it to me, by the way. Excuse me, Dr. Gam. And, well, we got some Minnesota Viking fans back here too, so yes.
Oh, yes.
So that's why I wore it. I'm in mourning, but also positive, hopefully, in the future.
So some things to add to my report. One, tonight they recognized Mr. Keene. He became the all-time winningest girls coach in Beecher girls basketball. He's 188 and 87, so congratulations to Mr. Keene.
Wow, that's awesome.
He also has the highest win percentage of any coach in Beecher history, male or female, with that record. So, and he's 106. There's no way they count Hayhurst in that, by the way, but I think he's 106 and
Yeah, right.
8 within conference. Keene is.
Oh, okay.
So, 108 and 6, I think, is Hayhurst's schedule every year. And then Mr. Berserk actually brought up a really, really good idea. The team's going to work on a good day this week. This is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Week, and so he pointed out that Piatone is doing a Wear Blue Day. So I know we got homecoming week, but definitely at the elementary and junior high, we're going to find a day this week. They're going to send it out there and show our police appreciation for all the good things that they do.
That's awesome.
So we'll make sure that something, yeah, it was a great idea, idea. So we'll make sure something gets
I gotta
home.
take the credit for it. I found it on I saw Piatone doing that. I figured, hey, you should do it.
Hey, you got it to me, so I'm going to give you credit for it. In terms of policy 2250, only one this month. They just want to know the bid results for the elementary bathroom. And then new guidelines, I did post a video on YouTube, some of the significant changes that you probably heard in the voicemail and the emails. The quarantine went from the 7 to 10 days to 5 days, as long as you can come back fully masked, which we are. And I know Ms. Black, Mr. Meyer and Dr. Kwasny are working on making sure that 6-foot separation on lunch. Those are the two big hiccups. But Nicole did a nice job today. She found a completely different room. I don't know who's I thought you or Dawn were monitoring it themselves to make sure it gets taken care of. So that allowed us to get a plethora of students back in that building a lot quicker. So our quarantine time went from 10 days, which is basically 2 weeks in the school atmosphere, to 1 week. So that was a huge step forward. But again, I have to reiterate to our families, our community, if your child is sick, I know you want them in school, but if our children are sick, we must keep them home. We can't be sending them to school. If someone in your house has COVID, if someone in your house is sick, please keep your students home until you find out the actual results. If you have a person in your room or in your house that is COVID positive, do not send your students to school. Don't do it. It's against the guidelines, and it puts us in a really precarious position when 2 days later, your child gets sick, and we make that phone call, and we find out, well, you know, my brother who's staying with us is COVID positive. The only way to get through this, guys, is being smart about the choices we make, and being transparent with Angie and Lindsay when they give us calls. They are working harder than any nurse ever should anywhere. So it's really tough on them when they find out that people are lying to them. So watch the video. That's kind of where we're at with that. Other than that, I'm going to have Mr. Duncan do a presentation for you all, unless there's something particular in that board report I sent you. Oh, Ms. Lofton said, thank you so much for the floor. It looks phenomenal. The pictures don't do it justice, but it is beautiful up there.
Awesome.
Hi.
Okay.
Oh, it's in your report?
No, can I do my report?
No, you're after Gaham.
Oh, okay.
Just follow in order.
I sent this to your iPads or BOE emails.
Yep.
So just a few
Yeah, I
things to
can
go
look at
over to
it. I can't
recap.
see
I mean, obviously technology's been pretty big for 2020 and even 2021. But just kind of a past, present, future outlook. What we've done in the past year, we have a couple grants we've accessed through the district office and our ECF funds for about 400 additional Chromebooks. So we've just got some of those in, so we're starting to prep those for next summer. It's been kind of hard to get technology in because everything's on back order. We have completed pretty much most of our TV display installs. So all the classrooms used to have projectors. They now have TVs. about the size of that 75-inch TV there, super bright. You can have the windows open. It has a resolution that's much greater than the square old-style projectors, so that's definitely been good for the classrooms. We finished getting all of our battery backups in all of our equipment closets, kind of changing those out. A bunch of networking gear was installed, so we have some updated infrastructure that we kind of cycle through every once in a while through our E-rate funding. We have a new content filtering with a parent component, so the parents have some more visibility if they want to see into the what the students are using or doing on their school devices. We've been working on a lot of new security assessments. We have some things we've been doing, phishing training, a bunch of other stuff that we've been working on to just kind of make us more secure. We've also went through an audit through a third-party vendor that kind of did like a test on us to check all of our systems from outside to in, and we've been following those recommendations as well. We have new printers, so we've increased our page per minute of printing from 90 to 140 in all of our buildings. We have definitely had challenges with service, so the service industry in general, we've had some issues with getting on-time service, having techs, they're having a hard time getting technicians out here and that are staying employed with the company. But we've been working through it. It's getting a little better, so appreciate everyone's patience on that. Mrs. Black, thank you. We have a really great new inventory system that allows us to track all these new Chromebooks and all of our devices that's built into the PowerSchool system. So that's been kind of a game changer on our end, just to make sure that everything's accurate, that cycles through, we can run reports. So we weren't able to do that accurately before. It was using spreadsheets. Then we have going on right now, starting to open the idea of exploring an insurance option. For Chromebooks, we have number one problem is screens, keyboards, breaks. So we have a lot of that going on. I mean, some days there'll be 3 or 4 a day. Other days there'll be none, but I mean, sometimes we just have a stack at the end of the week just full of just broken screens, and we're trying to figure out some way to help with that, whether it's insurance for people that tend to break screens more, or some sort of replacement option. We're working through some of that. Exploring some student fees kind of go along with that too. That might work hand in hand, just depends on if it's third party or internal to the district. We have a recycling device buyback that's going to be happening, so some of our older Chromebooks that are off rotation, as well as our old hardware that's been rotated out. So we're hoping to get some money back on that. And then our future projects are going to be relating to a lot of fiber and internet access. So we have, we're working on a buried fiber, so our internet will be able to be transmitted to the junior high. Right now we pay a pretty high monthly fee, and this buried fiber would be covered through all the grants, would be no cost to us, similar to how ESSER works. And that would allow us to drop off some monthly bills there once that gets put in. So it'd be a year or two with all the E-rate windows. And we do have a new internet access plan coming in a couple years, so that's going to be from the state, and the state's actually providing that for us for free. So that's different than how it has been. It's been really hard to get that, but now it's just internet's getting more out there, so that's available. We have new Chromebooks coming in 2023, and the 2 other big purchases are coming up are the business lab replacement and the elementary and junior high lab replacement. Those are our PC labs that have different programs that are only used on the PC, like graphics software, Microsoft Word. We do some certifications for Word here at the school, so those aren't available on Chromebooks. So that's the general summary, and if you had any questions, I'd be happy to elaborate on whatever you'd like.
On the Chromebooks, you said that insurance and that I understand, but do we have an option where, like, high school students, junior high, parents are like, can buy the Chromebook for them?
We've talked about that, and I think that would be something that we want to explore. So it would be great to be able to provide that as an alternative to just selling it back to a reseller. And what I think would also encourage them to treat the device nicely. If they know that they're going to potentially buy that, maybe they'll treat it a little better, and they might get a longer life out of the device as well. So I
just want to take into consideration that some people can't afford them. So I just want, before we say, everybody's got to buy them. I'm just asking if there was an option, if somebody can buy them. And you just explained that away.
Yeah, we didn't really get that far into it, but we'd probably like to explore all that. I mean, we're gonna try to, obviously we have to provide these computers,
Right.
most importantly. So we're definitely gonna make sure everyone has a computer for class.
The district that I'm in has, like, the 8th graders get to keep the device, and then the high schoolers get to keep the device. It's all set up through a program or whatever, although we have like 0 extras. So they have a program they're working with. So what happens with the students, say that their Chromebook is broken for some, whatever reason? Are there extras, like loaners for them to use
We do.
available?
Yeah, we have loaners in each building, so
Okay.
immediately they just come down within a few minutes. They're already back in their classroom with the loaner.
Great.
And then we can repair it.
Yeah.
And we also have a certain amount of loaners, or extra units per building. So if we just say, hey, look, this is a problem that we know we're not gonna be able to fix, or we need to send out, we'll just exchange them right out and say, just keep this for the rest of the year. So
Okay.
we can quickly get them back with either the
Okay.
device they'll have for the rest of the year until maybe it breaks again, or a loaner until we do the repair, right away on theirs, and then call them back in to
Okay,
get that replaced. So
Cool.
we have that in place.
great.
But that would be something maybe when we do enrollment next year to have something ironed out. Like you say, if you're having habitual offenders that are breaking screens over and over again and we don't have an insurance and we don't charge a technology fee, we're just eating that over and over for the kids. There's kind of got to be some kind of repercussion or consequence.
Right now, there is part of the registration that parents sign off on, that the first one is free, and then after that, there is a fee
Okay.
assessed. And depending on what it is, if it's a charger, it's $25. If it's a screen, it's
They're up to about $95 now.
Yeah.
So there is something in place. We're just looking at maybe going a little bit more, what else can we do to help supplement those problems?
Thanks for all this info, too.
We're going to be
Appreciate it.
Sure, of course.
Yes.
Joe?
So if anybody wants to get a shovel, Joe will start digging that line between now and. Saves
It'll be
money.
done in about 2 years. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. Anything else? No? You good? Oh, Mrs. Black, we're ready for you.
We wouldn't leave you out.
So, we have my report. I did want to just kind of highlight a couple of things we did right before Christmas break as well. We had our Wheel of Wisdom, which was really fun. I know Dr. Bayham was able to be there to see some of it. The kids had a wonderful time. Tons of really great feedback from the teachers and the kids. Everybody loved it. It was like a Jeopardy-style trivia show. Some of the kids got to come up and spin the wheel. Some of the kids got to answer questions. They all had a really great time, and it was awesome to see that last day before break. We were all together. We haven't all been in the same place for a really long time. So it was nice for all of us to be together. We were in the den. We walked over here so we could spread everyone out and have lots of space, but it was nice to see everyone together. That last week before break, we also had our PBIS Santa's Coin Shop, is what they called it. Miss Emily, our social worker, and Mrs. Cece, one of our special education teachers who are also on our PBIS team, did a ton of work and decorated the band room downstairs and had everything laid out so the kids could take a lot of their coins that they've been building up through PBIS and buy some kind of bigger things that aren't normally on our PBIS card. So the kids had a really great time with that as well. So, and if you notice, I could not believe we raised over 2,200 items in our food drive. So that was awesome. The kids were super excited, kept bringing stuff in. Mrs. Kopek's class won our contest, so they got some extra PE time that last day. But the kids were really into it, and it was great to see how it is.
Nice.
Any questions on anything?
And Ms. Black matched that donation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still no? One of these times I'll get
Clear
it.
the pantry.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you for those.
President. I see that the school district and the police are going to be doing something coming up here very shortly. If you want to elaborate on it a little bit.
I'm sorry?
Sexting and all
On
that.
the 27th.
Oh,
Sorry.
Mr. Breyer, can you talk to about your speaker coming in?
So Rich, and I'm gonna mess this up, Wistowski, or, we had him at the junior high about 3 years ago, now maybe more than that, 4 years ago.
Probably longer than that.
Well respected, but I hope there are going to be more people involved than we had at the junior high. But so we have we have a student assembly from like 1 to 2:30, I think, on the 27th. Then the adults from 6 to 7:30 or 7:45 in the den. It's going to talk about Instagram, Snapchat, give some strategies, show parents how kids, well, if I remember correctly, some of the things, some of the apps that you can basically follow your children, you can block certain things, and you can, he's really good. Well-known, been on Fox 32 News. I think he even spoke on, people called him about that, and I'm going to mess this guy's name up, but that Kyle Rittenhouse and that Wisconsin situation, they talked to him about that. He's a cyber threat, whatever, expert. So that'll be the 27th, yes. So hopefully everything, we put it on our website. I think the SRO called us today, and I think it's going to go on the police website as well.
Yeah.
So
Was this set up by the SRO?
this was set up between Jack and Chief and
Yeah.
myself.
Yep.
And there's a daytime for the students and then a nighttime for the parents?
Yeah, 1 to 2:30, and then the parents 6 to 7:45. So,
Awesome.
yep.
And do they have to be, can their kids not be in high school? Could it, like, if a 5th grade parent wanted to come, they're more than welcome to come?
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Anybody's welcome. Yeah,
I'm
bring
just
them all.
making sure.
Yeah,
I
I'd say-
assumed, but
Yeah.
I'd say bring them all.
Yeah, I think the focus will be similar, but it's not gonna be the same content, I mean, so yes, we strongly urge any parent to come on out and see what's going on.
What's the date of that again?
27. Gives you some tricks of the trade.
We'll send out some advertisements as well to make sure people are
I
aware
got
of
an
it.
email about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. And I saw it on the website, or the Facebook page. Okay.
I think it's an awesome.
And it's on the
Yeah.
website.
It is.
Could be really good.
And then the village put it out today.
Yeah.
Education is key.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
I also want to note the vaccination clinic that we, a company out of Illinois who works with the health department reached out to Beecher and talked to me, and I said, yeah, Jill from, is it Grosso? Grasso? Phenomenal person over, the director over at the library. She says, I really want to have one at the library. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll put it in my name, have it at your facility, that way we can get people to come through the library again, because she says it's kind of barren over there. So the 15th, this is in the video, the 15th, which is Saturday, from 8 to 12, is a student-specific or child-specific vaccination clinic. That's only for 5 through 12-year-olds. It is not adult, it is not booster shots. They can't do them at the same time. So then they're gonna come back on the 17th, which is Monday. So if any adult or child over 12 would like to get either the preliminary series or a booster shot on the 17th from 2 to 7, they'll have it available at the library.
Nice.
So the 15th for kids, the primary series, and then the adults on the 17th.
Wonderful.
So,
Good. Thank you for setting that up. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll move to committee report, just transportation this month.
So we had a pretty good meeting with Dr. Gaham where he laid out his strategy to manage our fleet moving forward. We believe it's a really great plan and fully support him in that plan going forward. If you'd like to touch on that a minute.
yeah, so I know when Brad was here, he kind of gave, one of the big focuses with transportation is getting your fleet all back up, and that includes both the smaller, the minis, and the larger buses. So I met with Scott, and you guys budgeted for both, but looking at our fleet, we can actually start a rotation to where we have a mini 1 year, a larger the next year, and kind of go back and forth. And then if there comes a time where we have to buy two, well, we've saved that money over time, and we can actually get two, and it won't hurt the bottom line too much. So Scott looked at it. One of the things we're going to put out for bid through the transportation department is a 24-passenger wheelchair mini. That bid will go out this month. You'll have something hopefully in front of you in February. So yeah, and then I forwarded along a very nice email from Mr. Shireman about that activity bus. He loved it, his team loved having it. There's just the ease of being able to do what they need to do when they need to do it. And I believe Mr. Austin also pointed out it saved us $1,700 on one trip.
There you go.
So,
There you go, it's starting,
And with the
already
purchase
working.
of the new mini bus, maybe we could have another activity bus when it finally comes in, and then
Could
we'll
be.
continue to save more
Yeah.
money.
so we're starting that,
It's already working.
fingers crossed.
For the activities bus especially, if we're going to put in a second, so our are we getting coaches trained to drive that bus?
So yeah, so Mr. Keene and Mr. Sharma were the first ones to express interest in Mr. Austin, and so he brought over the bus, showed him the bus, brought Mr. Crocker over, he walked him through it, talked to him about it, and as Tyler said, it's like driving a big van. I mean,
Yeah, you
it's-
don't need a special license
Yep,
for it.
yep,
Right,
Yep,
yeah.
you just get used to it.
Mr. Ogden will be tomorrow for the Scholastic Bowl on Thursday, so we'll
Yep.
take down Thursday's Scholastic Bowl.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I'll volunteer to try.
It's sharp, it's
So-
sharp. I like it.
I see you in the Jeep, I
I've
don't
seen,
know.
I know. I've seen it on Wolf Center actually one time. I'm like, that's kind of nice.
And where there's gonna be some people who just aren't comfortable driving it, we're not gonna force it on anybody, we're not gonna say you have to take it, but, you know, you might have to wait for a 4:30 for a bus driver if you, that happens, so yeah.
So is there an option for someone like Mr. Ogden or someone else to drive the bus if it's available for a smaller team?
Oh, 100%, yeah, all they have to do is let
Like
Mr.
the
Austin know.
coach, yeah, isn't comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna say Mr. Ogden, it'd probably we wanna make sure, well, Mr. Meyer, just, as part of other duties as a sign, just bring him along.
There you go.
All over that.
Yeah, but yeah, 100%. If the coaches would like that and they're available, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
I mean, it doesn't have to be an administrator, but I just was wondering, because I'd inquired about, you know, a team using the smaller buses, and the response was the coaches weren't, you know,
Was there-
trained to drive it yet, so.
And you're only allowed to have 14.
Right.
The driver and passengers, so if you have a team literally of 14, you can't have somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, you
no,
know
I
how
know.
that works, but,
Is this a special, like a different thing for insurance too on it?
what's that?
Like, if somebody is driving it that's not a bus driver, like having it's just all under it. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Any more questions for transportation or any other details?
Did we mention the
Talked
plow?
about, the plow
Oh,
truck.
yeah, I can talk about it now, or I can talk about it
When we actually approve
It's
it?
up to you.
We'll wait.
Okay,
Okay.
edge of your seat, folks.
Can't wait. All right. Great, thank you. All right, moving to press policy. I need a motion to approve the Press Plus issue number 108 as a second reading and as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Hernandez?
Yes.
Pappas?
Yes.
Palmer?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Schultz? Yes. McGurk?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and we saw the email, the addendum. So a motion to approve the Blue Fox Cleaning Services addendum is presented.
You're referring to the email, correct?
Yes.
Not the addendum I sent you, so.
No, the actual.
Sorry, wait, yes.
So I
I'm
sent
sorry,
you,
yes.
they emailed me today, after a week of looking at everything they're doing.
Upon review, yes.
They gave
an
me,
addendum.
yes, so they were aware tonight I was bringing this to you guys, so they want to make sure, go ahead.
Have they met their obligation? And we have our staff and our students, and it is clean now, and we're not having any more issues. I know, I read it about the
Yeah.
third one.
No, well, where they are today from where they are December, what was the first day, 15th, 16th, day and night. There are still some things that they are adjusting to our expectations, but they're very open to listening to us. They adjust when they're still human beings, but yes, it's getting a lot
No,
better.
I understand,
Yeah.
I get it.
Like,
I don't want-
last night, they forgot to take the trash out in one of our offices. So we emailed them, it's gonna be addressed tonight. I mean, it's one of those
I
things.
don't
that-
want to pay a company and then our staff is doing the legwork at the end.
I agree. And then the other, and Ms. Black and I had a great conversation about this. If we went with another company, we're back at square one, because I can't I'm gonna throw that on the ground. I can't promise you that they're gonna do a great job. Even looking at the bid that the other group put forth, it's less than what Blue Fox is doing right now, after all of our expectations are being met, so. But Ms. Black reaches out to her staff almost every day to find out.
Today's the first day I didn't.
So, just to find out how they're doing and what needs to be corrected.
I just want to make sure our staff
Yep.
ain't doing
Okay.
what they're supposed to be doing, we're paying them, you know,
Yeah.
and so.
Yeah,
So they're reporting to you if like there's because you can't see the whole building clearly. So
Absolutely.
they're letting you know if there's issues.
Yes.
And then,
And I've been
You're communicating
in
that.
contact with Mr. Sunula, James, and Dr. Graham every day.
Okay.
So whatever reports I'm getting, Joey's also been giving reports of other things that he notices around every day. Things are being shared with them daily. There are some things, if you're hearing from teachers and stuff, there are some things that our staff was doing that Blue Fox is not doing. So some of those things are emptying pencil sharpeners. like the shavings out of pencil sharpeners, wiping off the boards, and then just like straightening the desk, so making the rows all straight every day. Those are the three things that have been brought to my attention that teachers were concerned about, but then in talking, that was not one of the things that we had talked to them or that they were contracted to do. But other than that, they're doing the same cleaning that was being done before.
So are they doing that, like with the straightening of the desks and stuff now, or no? They won't?
It wasn't included in their original scope of work.
Okay.
And again, when we say straighten the desk, they're not like coming in doing this to desks and leaving.
Right.
It's when they run a broom through, it bumps it, gets a misaligned.
Okay,
But
yeah,
it's not that so much as, I think, my understanding from talking to the teachers, our teachers were used to, like, our staff knew exactly what kind of rows the desks were
Right.
in, so as they
Well,
went
yeah.
through and cleaned,
Yeah.
the desks weren't straight in rows, our staff was making the desk straight and things like that.
Right.
So,
Oh, I do that every day in my room.
I know, yeah, and I'm just thinking of like things that I appreciate when I come back in, you know, and like rolly chairs, like where they go or whatever. So as they're learning, that could improve as well.
I would imagine.
I do it every day at the end.
Yes, I know, that's what I was thinking, I was like, oh, that'd be nice if I didn't have to do that.
And then, so are you guys still fogging? Is that still part of it?
Yeah, I actually spoke with Joey about that.
Okay.
The areas that are being sprayed each morning in our building are, I have to look, it's the cafeterias, the bathrooms, and the nurse's office, the main office. Those are the areas that are being sprayed every morning.
Okay. Yeah, my classroom's like down to maybe once a week if I'm lucky. So have you kind of trimmed back on the classrooms too now? Like for that, how often do you think it's done for class?
It's not done in the classrooms currently.
No, okay.
No.
Because the cleaning surfaces are being disinfected by the cleaning companies.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when our girls, our ladies who are doing it right
Yeah.
now, the spray they're using is a disinfectant.
Right,
So.
yeah. Well, and I found now, because I have these two, they're getting fog. Whenever I get fogged, like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and it's messing up my screen. So I haven't been happy with that. And then it ruins all your papers and stuff too. So as long as the surfaces are being cleaned well, it's not a bad thing. You know, because there's some things that fogging was doing.
And we had some concerns with that at the beginning, there were some issues. Should the chairs be left up, should the chairs be left down, and what that would look like. So right now, you know, at first we had the chairs up, and then there were concerns that if the chairs weren't put back down, then how
Are they cleaning the
how
surface?
well
Exactly.
the desks are being cleaned up.
Yeah,
So now the chairs are being left down so that we know that, you know, there's plenty of space. They don't have to work around chairs or knocking things off or anything like that to get that done. So I will continue to reach out every couple of days, and I hope the staff knows now that I'm looking for that input. So even if I don't email that day, if there's an issue, they can, you know,
Yeah, still
contact me and let me know.
yeah.
But definitely, as I was seeking out daily input, each day there were more and more positive things being said as opposed to negative things
Good.
that were happening. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, good. All right, so I just need a motion to approve.
Well, I just like to state the concern, because I did read through the original contract, and it doesn't necessarily state how many people they were gonna provide. They would just state that they would furnish all the necessary labor to perform their required duties. So I guess I'm just confused. Did they not, how, did they come through our buildings and?
Yeah, so this is the one sticking point that I had with David and Lydia, and it comes down to it, correct. They thought they could get it done with 2 people. So after they went through it for 3 days and they got the conversations with me and Mr. Snow, they realized 3 people just wasn't gonna cut it. So they had to add somebody else. Now, they're giving us this, they're having us charge this month at the old rate for the adjustment because they made that mistake. However, by adding somebody to their workload, plus the insurances that are required for schools, they're gonna lose money on it. So either they walk away from it, or we hire that 3rd person, which is still less than the other company, which is still less than we would have paid 3 people on our own staff.
How many did we have in here cleaning before this crew?
3,
Yep.
so.
Okay.
And this contract will go to,
It's a monthly contract, so we're able to
got it.
give it I think there's a 60-day termination, so at the end of the year, once we say we're good, I just let them know in a month in advance.
Okay.
Any other questions about the cleaning?
Well, actually, you better get a new contract because it's saying December 31st, 2022.
Correct, but it also has an opt-out in there that allows us, if we give them a 60-day notice, to walk away
Right,
from it.
but the letter is actually dated December 31st, 2022, which has not even,
Oh, you're talking about
the actual,
addendum?
yeah,
Gotcha.
so,
Well, they have to write me a new one anyway, because that's,
Okay.
that number, not that.
We'll just
The
make
number's
sure.
gonna be 67.
okay.
No, I haven't done anything with that addendum, other than pass it along to you guys.
Okay,
And send them, give them a phone call about it.
okay. But even prior to the addendum. But, okay, never mind, I see it now. Okay,
Yes?
I'm good.
Anybody else have questions? All right, so I need a motion to approve the Blue Fox Cleaning Service Addendum as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Pappas,
Yes?
Hallmeyer,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Missouri,
No.
and Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so as we discussed the school calendar changing to reflect some extra planning time, did you want to say anything about that, Dr. Gahan?
Actually, the adjustment on, this is next year's calendar that you're looking to approve. This isn't the 2 o'clock dismissal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What I had to change is by law, Election Day is now an official holiday, so I had to remove November 8th. November 8th is now not a national holiday, a holiday that needs to be paid for in Illinois, so we moved that to the end of the year.
Okay.
That's what the calendar committee requested. And there was one other thing, no, there wasn't. Oh, I added the quarters. So if you look at it, the quarters are now 40, 44, 46, and 46.
So the calendar committee of the union approved this?
So they actually did everything with the exception of November 8th, 2 years ago.
Okay.
This was the tentative one you guys approved back in March, but I had to adjust it for the 8th, and I did consult with the 3 of them about where to put it.
Okay.
And that's also true. So,
Any questions on the amended calendar? All right, I need a motion to adopt the 2022-2023 amended calendar as presented, which reflects quarter dates and the addition of the Election Day holiday.
So,
second.
Okay, Hallmeyer,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Missouri,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
and Pappas.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Under new business, I need a motion to accept the resignation of Nathan Swanson as high school track and cross-country coach.
so moved.
Second.
Okay. And,
And
duh, I'm sorry.
Flores,
Apparently I'm
Yes.
not all
Belt,
yet.
yes, Missouri,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes,
Hallmeyer,
Yes.
motion carried.
I apologize.
No trouble.
Any questions on the 2022 BA seniority list?
I didn't see my name on there. No, joking.
So sorry. I need a motion to approve the BA 2022 seniority list as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Belt,
Yes.
Missouri,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
Hallmeyer,
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Alrighty, and now, as we were all waiting for here, the snow removal vehicle.
Yeah, so again, this is not going to replace Lang. There's no way that we could overtake what Lang does for us, and they're doing a great job. Even this morning, we got to school and everything was taken care of in terms of our lots. This is for the transportation building that's over there. Lang is not in charge of that. They are not contracted to do that building. So a lot of the times we kind of hope the transportation and the township does it, but a lot of times they're obviously doing roads, which is far more important. So the first thing we would do is use this, have Jimmy use it to make sure that the lot is cleared for our own staff over there. And then during the school day, I mean, there are times where it's blowing, what was it, Tuesday this past week? Wednesday. It was blowing really bad. Now, we called Lang and they came out and did it for us, but it would have been just as easy to do a quick loop and been done with it. This also would then be the new maintenance vehicle, because right now the one that Mike drives around on, I'm pretty sure is being held together by rust. So part of the stipulation that Mr. Hernandez and Ms. Bell put on there was that it would include the plow and salt spreader. So that's kind of where we're at with all of that.
Okay. So if Mike is using it, is he the one that's going to be plowing?
So him or Jimmy, I mean, Mr. Crocker, yes, they would be the ones that if they got to do a quick sweep, I'd say, hey, Mike, can you get in there, or Jim, can you get taken care of for us? Yeah.
Okay. And then, just a side question, since we did have our first snowfall, and so was everything good at each school with laying with walkways and everything for
Well,
staff?
to be fair,
and students?
walkways and sidewalks are our responsibility.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they just do the.
But
Okay.
parking lots, driveways, teacher lots,
Okay, but what about for our, because I know that in the past we've had issues with the walkways and stuff for staff, and then also for drop off and everything. I didn't drop my kid off on last Tuesday.
This morning, I was
I didn't.
expecting it to look rough. It was fabulous this morning.
Okay.
Absolutely fabulous. I was
Good.
really nervous.
Okay,
I mean, you run into, obviously, the north side of both Mike's building and Michelle's building, is zero sun, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be the tougher part, but they're out there
especially with this
salting in the
ice,
morning.
and it's better, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Today was good. No, when Jimmy came back, yes, today.
And as you pointed out, we don't want anybody falling.
No.
Okay, all right, good to know. Any other questions about the snow removal vehicle or anything pertaining to that?
If we do like an NT or not to exceed, like, the truck, the plow, and then Mr. Hernandez, added that he wanted a salt spreader, and I think that's a great idea. So can all those things be purchased separately under that?
So I actually would, I
All of
provide,
it together cannot exceed the amount.
Right,
Yeah,
but
yep.
you don't have to find a truck that has A, B, C.
No,
correct.
you can add them on.
Yep.
But if it
If I-
doesn't have it and you have to buy a salt sweater, then it needs to be low enough to be able to do that, because it's not going over that amount.
Yeah.
I just
Right.
wasn't sure if it all had to be.
Is that a possibility that's
oh,
like in
I
the price
provided
range?
2 or
It's
3
fine.
trucks that
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
satisfy
Oh, okay.
what we're looking for.
When we looked at that, if any of you try to buy a vehicle now, you know they're extremely hard to find.
Yes.
And they disappear very quickly. So we wanted to make sure that if they found a vehicle, we weren't handcuffed by
Having a
price
meeting.
Right.
or something like that. So that's why we raised it up to the 25,000. But I'm sure they'll find one cheaper than that
Okay.
with everything they
Yeah.
need.
They had, I mean, up to 5, 6 that were all well under
Yeah.
$20,000
Okay.
they showed us, but the problem was, oh, they like this one, oh, they called in and checked, set up an appointment for the mechanic to go look, so.
Okay.
So
Right.
that's the issue, it's gotta be something where the mechanic can go check it out, make sure it's solid and get it, not waiting for us to have a meeting, to have a board. vote.
Right.
It will be.
Then
called.
it's done, so
I mean, it's
they
the
can
snow
do that.
season. Now is not the real time you wanna buy a snowplow,
Yeah.
but.
Okay, good. All right, then I need a motion to approve the purchase of a snow removal vehicle not to exceed $25,000 for a snow removal vehicle, snow blade, and salt spreader.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, Missouri,
Yes.
Hernandez,
Yes.
Pappas,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
and Bell.
Yes.
Great, and now for the district cell phone.
Hey, Julie,
Yeah.
can we just make it clear that district cell phones, because when you say district cell phone, it sounds like we're buying hundreds of, we know what they're for.
100%, yes,
Yeah.
and that's why I was just
We're
gonna
gonna go
say,
into detail.
the details of the district cell phones. Yep.
Just to note in the previous item, was budgeted, so the snow truck was budgeted in the budget you guys approved for
Oh,
October.
great.
So, all right, so the district cell phones, I wrote it in a little snippet in an email to you guys. There are 3 people in this district who make significant amount of phone calls from their personal devices. And I'm sorry if it sounds rude when I say this, but I don't make professional phone calls from this cell phone. This cell phone is my personal device. I make sure I do it from work. Angie, Lindsay, and Mr. Austin spend a lot of times helping and working with our families. the number of families who have their personal cell phones and who are reaching out to them at wee hours of the night. Angie's getting phone calls at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night from families on her days off during vacation. Now, and she's an absolute gem, and so is Lindsay, and she picks it up and she talks to these families and helps them out. But I'm sorry, there comes a time where I need to step in as the superintendent and say that's not acceptable. So what I would like to do is get Angie and Lindsay and Scott, the three of them, a phone with a school number that they can reach out to families with, that will then have that number on speed dial if they need it. But then when their shift is over or their night is over, they hit the power button and they can open it back up at 7 o'clock when they wake up. They can go on vacation and not have someone who lives on, down the street call them, hey, my child fell, what can I do? I mean, right now Angie and Lindsay are the COVID people, they're personal physicians, you name it. It's not fair to them.
And I'm not against those phones for them. I agree 100%, but when are they gonna keep them, just gonna be these nurses for moving forward?
Yeah, so what we would do is we designate to the position, not necessarily the person. So we would buy one for the transportation supervisor, and then if someday Scott decides that he's done and retires after 25 years of supervising services to us, on the 26th year, that number will transfer to Marla's grandson.
What I'm saying is,
Thank you, Martha.
I know we got the phones right now for COVID.
No, we don't have any phones. I have to buy them.
No, I know, we gotta buy phones.
Yeah,
We have COVID right now, and that's what it seems like people are calling the nurses for, is the COVID.
yeah.
So,
Well, not only
But
that,
even though
diabetics.
They transfer from building to building, because half the time, when I've had to call before, I called the junior high, oh wait.
She's one of them.
She's at the, no, I called the school. I've had to call and they're like, oh wait, she's at the elementary, let's see if we can try to, I mean, they're just always on the move.
Right, and from my personal experience now as the second positive, then we had the issue where I had mentioned to Dr. Gay, I'm like, oh, I hadn't heard, but, and I had emailed, and they had tried to call me, but I didn't recognize the number, and it wasn't the school number, so I don't answer those, and then it turns out she had left a message and I missed it. But then, me knowing, I didn't call her back, it was at the nighttime, but otherwise, people probably would then, So I saw right away that this would be very useful.
So you're asking if once COVID is done in 2 months, because we have it
2
under
months.
wraps?
Yep.
Are those
that-
phones going to be moved? No, because they still do diabetics, they still actually do other kind of calls.
And they move,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would, as I use my cell phone for work sometimes too, and I'm very hesitant on giving my number out, so I completely understand that point of, I couldn't imagine, I have a very small customer base, how it would be for the nurses and the transportation, or that,
And I actually, side note, I did a Google Voice number for when I was staying home so that I could contact parents that way. I mean, that's a whole other thing, and then they're still using their minutes and everything, so it doesn't work.
Well, the problem is, even with Google Voice, it still rings.
Yep.
So having
Oh,
children.
yes, and you're exactly
And so
right.
if you're getting a
Yep.
phone call and your child's out, you're going to answer it.
Yep.
And you can't be, I mean.
Exactly.
They
gotta turn it off and
Apparently
put it
they're
away.
too nice, they can't be like, I'm
Right.
off hours and hang up.
Yes, yes, they gotta turn it off. I
just so,
agree.
that, again, like I said, it was on the agenda, and people can take it as district cell phone wide, so it's for the nurses.
Yeah.
So-
It is definitely not for the three of them, myself, or anybody like that.
So when they would leave messages, they would actually give out their personal
Yeah.
cell
Well, they
number
were
and
calling from it,
not
too.
the,
Well,
so.
they're all from it, so it show up.
Yeah, so one
I'm
of them
just
wasn't,
surprised.
one of them wasn't on site on Friday when we started doing the quarantining, or bringing people back from quarantine, and we all know how important it is to get kids back in the classroom, so they took it upon themselves to call from their personal cell phone while I was building. Well, and they
I
do it
know.
all the time.
Yeah, and they do,
So,
yeah.
right.
And the same thing when Scott's out and about, or he's watching traffic on Indiana and he's
Yep.
got a call.
Right.
About it. And I like it for transportation because I've had issues where I've had to call the transportation barn and I can't get anyone, so I'm calling, I called Marla once this year and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I know you don't do it anymore. No one's answering in the barn.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get a hold of Scott, like I'm just trying to figure out because like the bus is going on 30 minutes late right now.
I did hear something that you just said,
That's
Scott,
funny.
watching traffic. Do you know that the village, and we can work with the village, they have a counter for those streets that are supposedly not high traffic and stuff like that. They have a counter that can go on the ground. Just to let you guys know that, I don't know. if you could talk with the chief maybe, but I hear he's watching. I mean, you got counters, which gives you.
I think she's referring to when they were looking at the train tracks, that's when he was doing the counting. I don't think Scott's been oot and a boot.
Right, but I'm talking about other things too, so just
Correct.
as a counter. I don't, maybe the village will, maybe they won't, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So we do have it as an action item, so, are there any more questions before? Okay. Then, do you? No?
Well, I mean, do we know what company we're gonna go with? Is it gonna exceed a certain amount, you know?
Do we have any other, like, does technology have cell phones? Do we have anyone else in the district that we have cell phones for?
No.
So this will be a first time,
Correct.
okay.
And I mean, for me, I think that it's also, you know, trusting that Dr. Gaham would
Yeah, I
get
know.
a good deal, you know, and what's necessary and not over that.
And this
Yeah,
would rarely fall under any kind of price number we have to do for the bidding process. So in reality, we'll find the best phones for the best price.
Okay.
And it's gonna get them, I'm not looking for TikTok phones, I'm looking for something where they can make it.
flip phone.
Not pay as you go like my parents have.
Right.
They're back, we do know that, right?
I do, and they want them, I know. Okay, so I need an action, or I need a motion to approve the purchase and usage of district cell phones for designated personnel.
So,
Second.
Okay, Hernandez,
Yes.
Pappas.
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
and Missouri.
yes.
Motion carried.
Great, okay, so, under other, as you know, I was going to be sending out the normal, through the evaluation calendar, but I had to postpone that a month due to my sickness, so you guys will be getting that soon. And Marla, I'll be in touch about hard copies. There's been a couple requests for hard copies, okay?
Just real quick, under another thing too, committees, when we're having committees, I know as when it comes to policy, I know I reach out and, you know, talk to, with my committee itself, but just make sure that we're reaching out to other committee members on there. I know we can watch it on TV, but, you know, when you have questions, you'd like to be there at that committee. And I'm just saying, I know, I always say, hey, make sure that everybody's there, so.
So for what's your request, that we all know
The-
when it's
The committee,
happening?
the chairs.
Okay.
You know, if they refer to Mr. Gaham to do it, or anybody, but make sure if you're gonna have a meeting at 5 o'clock, that the committee could be there. You know, it's twice now that I have seen a meeting for a committee, at 5:30, I just can't be there.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I can understand if you give a call and I say I just can't make it, but
Mhm.
when it's just sitting there and then I'm not at that committee, it doesn't look good for myself.
Yeah, so please touch base with each other to make sure that we can, whether email or whatever. Yep, okay. Any items for the upcoming time other than the evaluation coming up? No? Upcoming dates to mention, Dr. Gaham?
I'm not gonna get a date if you have the February 14th board meeting.
Oh, boy. I am sorry to
No, it's
Mrs.
fine.
Gaham.
Dismiss 'em.
No.
No,
Monday, Valentine's Day? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be reaching out, we'll have, there's, might be a need for a facilities meeting,
Okay.
so there's a small chance that I might be having GRP give me an estimate on a air conditioning unit for the junior high gym and cafeteria. They would be able to put it over the summer, and so we'll see the feasibility and the cost of that,
Okay.
so. Because Dr. Kwasny just kept on yelling at me.
I believe it. And I know that, you know, we're following what we said, and, you know, as that project is different, I mean, is there any way they could start looking at that as a whole, or?
What's that?
Like, just that if we're getting numbers for the gym and the cafeteria, if they're taking into consideration, you know, moving to the rest of the building, you know, the classrooms and stuff like that, just so that if we're gonna move fast to do that for the gym and cafeteria, that at least there's a plan that that will not be obsolete moving forward into the rest of the building.
That would be a supply line issue. And he did mention that if we wanted to do something, like if we wanted to do the RFP that you guys just approved for 5.8, we couldn't do it. They would not, they wouldn't bid it.
Wow, interesting.
The supplies are that low.
Okay.
However, a standard roof unit
I believe it.
that is still doable.
And then we would still be able to use, after moving forward into the classroom. That's what I just want them to consider.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah, it's part of the RFP.
We're not wasting money, that we're,
Oh, we never, I
Use it.
promise you, we're not
I-
gonna waste money if I'm sitting.
I don't doubt that, yes, okay. Thank you. Then whenever, just let me know. All right, anything else? All right, I need a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Decided before Memorial Day.